Hi everybody, it's Shanna with Shanna Sweets. Thank you for joining me this month for my sweet treat tutorial. This month I am actually doing something a little bit different. I am featuring Peekaboo Farm, this super adorable little farm animal stamp set. But I realize this might not be everybody's cup of tea, so I am also featuring Flowers of Friendship. Flowers of Friendship is another stamp set that is totally awesome. I'm going to have an online class with this later in the month. In my sweet treat tutorial, you will see, I'm not going to show you how to do those cards, but you will see when you get my little kit, you get the card parts and you get a PDF, and the PDF will show you both cards. The one I'm making today and the alternative picture will also be here for both cards. So, and I'm going to show you the cards also in this video. So it uses the same supplies but two different cards. But I just love these little farm animals because they're just right up my alley, and I just had to use it. So some other new awesome product I am featuring that you will get part of your card kit is this awesome die, in which it is called Picture This, and it actually cuts out, this is what I'm making the window. So it does this, and these animals can peek out, and the other one does rectangles. So let's start with that one. That is going to be the pool party. So to do this one, we're going to start with this white. Basic white is just a little bit smaller than your pool party, so you want to kind of line it up on the back side. And I have mine going where the little square is at the top. Okay, and you can do that or not. And then I have a pencil, and just very lightly I'm going to trace all my circles. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a pad underneath here so that they'll stamp good. And I'm going to use some Memento ink. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start stamping some animals. So, gotta have a cow, of course. Love the cows. And I'm just kind of lining them up in the circle. They go out a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, and then a Horsey. I put him in the biggest one since he's so tall. And the ram. I think these are so cute just to send to friends, kids, doesn't matter, ages, doesn't really matter. And then the hello there fits in the circle. You just have to be really careful when lining it up. All right, now I'm going to take, so I have 3 sets of blends. I have the soft suede, the smoky slate, and the flirty flamingo, and the color lifter, and I used all of these for both cards. So what I did was take the smoky slate, and I'm using my bullet ends mostly because my brush ends are getting a little tattered. I'm gonna have to trade out some of these blends here. So this guy, I alternated the colors on his horns. I just did simple coloring here. And then I took the darker one for the other side. And then what I did for the fur on him, like I did his hoofs. Now, if you add a second layer of the light, you'll get a little bit darker. So if you just let that dry a little bit, then you can get a little bit darker shade. But what I did was take my light color and then the color lifter. And if you take the color lifter and put it on the edge, then you can pick up a little bit. So I did that and started it at the edge. And that'll make that a little bit darker, because I really wasn't wanting like a whole lot of color on this guy, just a little bit. I put more on my next one than this guy, but this one I just mainly wanted like a little bit of shadow around his chin and his face. And if you decide you get too much, you can pull that color lifter out, and that'll lighten it even more. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of this though and pull out at the ears. So, and then take my color lifter and pull that color out, and that'll lighten it, but make my ears stand out a little more. Okay, just like that. Now, while I got the gray out, I'm going to color my cow. So like I said, if you take the dark one, all right, and I'm going to color his muzzle. And his hooves. I'm going to color this guy darker so that way he stands out from our, a little bit different than our ram up there. Okay. I'm going to take the light one, color his patch. And this patch. Oops, I got a little bit there. So if you take the color lifter, kind of erase that, give it a minute to dry. I can even put a little bit, take the color lifter, and I can add a little bit to these horns up here. Now, since that side's dried a little bit, I can add a little more color to my patch here, and that'll make this just a little bit darker, but not so dark. It's the same color as our dark color. And I can even make my darker, not quite black, but darker than it was. All right, then for our Horsey, we're going to take the light soft suede and color all of the base of our horse. then we're going to take the dark one and color the mane. This does lighten a little bit as you let it dry. Do the muzzle. And his hooves. And now our Horsey's lightened a little bit, so I'm going to go back and color the outside. Now, this time, I'm going to leave that center alone. So I'm only recoloring the outside of my horse. So leave that center part. So leave that middle part alone. That'll give me a little bit lighter tone right there in the middle. And then this one, I'm just going to go on the two outer portions. So again, I'm leaving the center alone. And this way, I don't have to have more markers, but I've got two different tones. All right, then you want a really good eraser, and you want to erase your lines. I have this really good art eraser, although I think it's supposed to have a battery in it. I don't have a battery in this thing. So, but it still erases good, right? And I didn't even use these other two, so I probably didn't even need to circle those, but you know what? Okay, now that we have everything erased, I'm going to put a piece of scratch paper underneath here. And then I'm going to take some Pool Party ink and my blending brush. Okay, start off to the side and come up the side of my card. Okay. So fill in that spot where this circle's not at there. Up here where this circle wasn't at, up around my Horsey. I'm going to get a little darker where that circle's not at, because it's going to fill in that. I'm going to go around and I'm going to go right here in the middle where there's no circle. Okay. And while I have my Pool Party out, I'm going to take my front, and I got two sets of clouds, okay? And I'm just going to stamp some clouds. Randomly all over my card there. Okay. Now I'm going to take the back side of my Pool Party and some adhesive. You can use Stamp and Seal, Seal Plus, whatever you have on hand. All right, and then line it up so that everything fits through. All right. You have 4 1/4 by 11. Fold this in half. Then you have a piece of, this is our 7/8 smoky slate, and I'm going to fold it in half. So I'm going to put a crease on it so that way it'll kind of, hopefully, let me take a glue dot so it'll hold a little bit better. All right, and I'm gonna get me a piece of tape here. I'm gonna slide this across the bottom. Take a piece of tape. I'm just gonna make sure it stays on here good. Then I'm going to take some foam strips. These come in nice big strips. And usually if you do this right, you can peel it off and it'll be sticky on one side. And it usually takes about 2 of them to do. I usually use 3 though, because it takes 2. Okay, so then put this on the front of your card, just like that. This is card number 1. In here you can see what I did for the alternative. I did add the label because I didn't have any sentiments that fit inside, but I added a label, so you do have an extra piece of basic white. And then there's more white, so if you want to, here I popped them up, so I stamped out the flowers extra, and then just have it so these guys can pop up a little bit. This one I didn't pop up the sides because I wanted the flowers to pop up. So that is card number 1. Oh, you can put the the basic white inside the card also, so that you have a liner. All right, second card. This one here is going to be the little guys on a brick wall. So you have the basic gray, 8.5 by 5.5. I just folded this one in half, and definitely need the liner this time. You have to put the gray is too dark. Now this really a tight fit though, because I kept them the same so you wouldn't get them mixed up, because this has a base of 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and that is going to go down on our basic gray. Then the DSP is 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go next. This is that elegant, Simply Elegant specialty paper. Then we have our stamping, and we're going to stamp a sentiment and stamp our image. So let's stamp our sentiment first. We're going to stamp sending hugs right here in the middle of our label, right there. And I'm going to go ahead and just attach that to my vellum so that I don't lose it. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on it so that I don't forget right now. All right, set that right there. Now, for the wall, you have this brick wall. And I'm just going, the lines go to the top, and I'm going to line that up over here on that side. And then I just have another little piece of scratch paper. I'm going to cover up the edge of my paper there. And then I'm going to line up my wall, that little line with that one, and then stamp so that I have a cohesive wall. Then I can stamp my little sheep. And let's see, I think I liked this cow, so we'll do him again. And of course I had to get the piggy wiggy in there. So we'll start with our piggy wiggy. I'm going to speed up the coloring this time. I'll show you a tip when I get over here to my sheep. The pig's just flirty flamingo. Alright, so for this guy, I definitely used I'm going to use this end. I think I pick up a lot more gray because I want to have it more marbly. If you can see, I'm trying to go in circles here to kind of give him that, I don't know, swirly. I don't know what else to say, because you know they have kind of a curly. So that was kind of what I was going for there, but I didn't want it directly the same color as my marker, so that's why I didn't go directly with that. Now, I'm going to put the scratch paper underneath this again, because this time I'm going to blend with my tuxedo, and I'm just going to go ahead and start off the page and go up into the brick wall. So starting at the bottom, I'm just going up into my brick. So this way my brick gets some color, but it's not really, really dark. And then I'm going to take and I'm just going to go the bottom of that card just to give it some really darkness right there. Okay? And that is that. So now I can put that on my card. Then I can, oh, I got that dimensional too far over. So this guy is going to get trimmed. So I try to put my finger where the edge is, so that way, because I want it not to go farther than my S, because now I'm going to trim that just like that. That is that one. Now this one was very easy. I just went vertical with it, stamped my florals, flowers, whatever, that's the one stamp, and then stamped many thanks from all of us in the middle and put the whole label on there instead. So that is this month's sweet treat, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will partake in being a customer this month so that you can get this card kit free as a gift from me. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great month.